I never thought I would see this fucking day come. It's over. The pay-per-view model is dead. Forever. Oh my god. Pay-per-views are over. UFC announces new deal with Paramount. $7.7 billion for 7 years. All numbered events will be on CBS for free. What the fuck? So 7 years, it expires in 2032. This is going to go on all the way until UFC 400. Holy shit. Actually, it'll go a little after that. It'll probably stop at like UFC 410, 420, somewhere around there. Oh my god. The ESPN deal was like 1.1 billion back then. This one's 7 billion. I'm a little worried though for some things. Apparently, look at this. In 2025, if you wanted to buy all the pay-per-views for the year and watch all the events the right way, the legal way, not as a pirate, you would have to spend basically $1,200. But in 2026, I don't know why they put McGregor's face up there, but in 2026, it'll be 120. I don't think it'll be 120. They're going to boost those prices up. They're going to boost those prices up. If it's 120, I'm spending my money on this. I'll spend my money on this. I don't have to go to crack streams anymore, or meth streams, or buff streams, or wrestling network, and having to click multiple times just to see the stream and have it lag and all this other stuff, have the wrong type of voice on it. Like, I'll do it. The scary thing is, though, is that the price is going to go up because they know, okay, if you're willing to pay 120, you'll pay 150 or you'll pay 200. And honestly, if it was 200, I probably still would pay it. And the psychologists over there at Paramount, they know that. You know, businesses, these big corporations, they hire psychologists to get people to spend more money. But this is great, honestly. This is long overdue. We needed this to happen. Let's look at this. Paramount buys UFC rights for $7.7 billion. Pay-per-view is now dead. All events, including numbers, will be available as part of the subscription. The UFC and ESPN partnership is over. A new era for the UFC. It certainly is a new era. There's a lot of skepticism in the comments, though. 13 events for a year, I think that's normal. I think there is 13 numbered events. So, you know, UFC 319, discounting the fight nights, discounting the Apex cards and stuff. The numbered events, the normal pay-per-view events. You still have to get a Paramount subscription, stupid. Who cares? I don't care if it's Paramount or Netflix or HBO. Like $120 a year is fine by me. If it stays that way. Now, if they just like every year, they just keep jacking the prices up by $50. So it's like, okay, 2026 is 120. Then 2027, it'll be 200. And then 2028, it'll be 250. And it's like, it just keeps going on. Then, okay, back to being a pirate. Back to crack streams, back to buff streams. I'm not going to put up with that shit if they just keep jacking up the prices. Because that's what happened with ESPN. ESPN did that shit and the pay-per-view just got out of control. That's fucking amazing. Let's look at some of these other comments. Select numbers events will be free on CBS. All numbered events will be on Paramount Plus for no additional charge. What the fuck? So on CBS, so the select number events, wait. Does that mean that there's just going to be like some that are just absolutely free on CBS? And then all of the number events will be on Paramount Plus for no additional charge. So what's going to happen to like the UFC fight nights? I'm assuming that's going to be free? Because when they're talking about numbered events, they're talking about like when it's got an actual number next to it. kind of seems low. As a fan, I'm happy, but the UFC got kind of ripped off. No, the UFC's going to do fine. They're getting paid a butt fuck ton. And the UFC is just, it keeps growing. Like, I know people don't like to admit it, like, oh, UFC's dead. It's not dead. It's gaining more popularity. Just because you don't have the big star power doesn't mean that it's not growing in other parts of the world. It is. It's an international sport at this point, and it's going to continue being that way. The UFC back in the heyday wasn't as big as it was in, you know, places like Russia or Australia or these other places where there's a lot of fighters coming out of. This guy says Paramount just lit $1.1 billion a year on fire for UFC, a niche with too many fights, too many rivals, and a shrinking thirst for blood. The rivals are non-existent. And look, I know I'm wearing this beanie and I'm going to look like a UFC dick-sucking shill, but there are no rivals. Not one championship isn't a rival. Bellator isn't a rival. Bare Knuckle is a bigger rival than Bellator is. Bare Knuckle FC is a bigger rival than Bellator. This isn't strategy, it's ego with a checkbook, and Wall Street will carve the epitaph. This dude's coping. Yeah, this guy's got the right idea. The UFC is the fastest growing sport in the world. You're looking at 1 million viewers easy for every card. It's true. Paramount's going to make a lot of money after this. A lot of fucking money. Smart decision from them. This is good for the sport. Look, 85% good for the sport. Fuck the pay-per-views. Fuck the pay-per-views. Nobody's paying for that shit, and they know it. That's why they did this. Because the UFC was probably bleeding cash. And see, this is what I'm worried about. Paramount Plus raise subscriptions is $30 a month. Let's take the calculator out real quick. Wait, what's 3 times 12? 36? So if they do a 30 a month, that'll be $360 a year. Yeah, I'm not paying that, bro. I'm not paying $30 a month. But I'll do it for 12. I'll do it for $12 a month for sure. Now I wonder if it's starting immediately in 2026, like, you know, the first card of 2026, this is going to happen, or if it's going to be like in the middle of the year or in the end. Who knows? Probably in the start. But yeah, great, amazing news. I'm very happy. Insane. Get the viewers in, get the money, get the subscriptions. A lot of people are going to be ditching crack streams for this, I think. You don't have to worry about the lag. You don't have to click on all these different things hoping you're not going to get a virus or whatever. Great. That's all I got. UFC 319's happening in 4 days. Peace out.